I used to think being the nice guy was a huge badge of honor. Sure, I would love to go to your parents' house again this weekend. Aren't I such a good husband? Yes, I would love to help you move because I'm a friendly person. I want to help others, even if deep down I'd rather go do something else. No, I won't speak my mind. I don't want to make you upset. It's much better for you to get your point across and to tell me what you think. And I'll just keep quiet because I don't want to be rude or, I don't want to be an inconvenience. These are things that I struggled with for many years. It really had an effect on my relationships, my self-respect. I was doing things that I didn't want to do. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Johnny Kendhammer. And it was when I read this book, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover, that it really opened my eyes into some of the behaviors that I was doing and why I was not getting the relationships that I wanted, why I was not feeling happy helping others in this way. For those of you who have ever, done things that you didn't really want to do, said yes when you really meant no, when you, agreed to go help somebody over the benefit of yourself, then I think this video will help you guys. I'm going to go over 3 things from the book that really stood out to me, that as I started implementing them, it really changed my life. Hold on. It's very difficult to shoot videos here in Mexico. It's nothing but noise. Similar to Minneapolis. If you've ever, tried to film a video, you'll realize just how noisy it is everywhere there is. Hey, look at this little iguana, big iguana. How would you like that thing running at you? But yeah, this video, I'm going to go over 3 things that were big takeaways from the book. I started reading this about 9 years after my marriage had ended. I was in Vegas at the time, and I thought I was doing very well. I was recovering from the divorce. I was living in a new place. I was feeling more social. But I still had this tendency to do things that I really didn't want to do. In the book, Robert Glover defines the nice guy as somebody that's looking for validation, seeking approval, having covert contracts, which basically a covert contract is a secret agreement that you make with yourself that if I do X, then Y should happen. And this is something that I did in my marriage a lot. If I do this, then you will reward me with affection. And when that doesn't happen, you get very upset. In my case, I would shut down for a day, sometimes 2, sometimes 3. I was not very emotionally responsible or forthcoming. So it was easier. My communication style at the time was just to shut down and not be happy with it. But I noticed I was doing this still in Las Vegas as well. I would go on these dates and I thought I was being, the nice guy. Like the girls keep saying they want a nice guy. So I would be very agreeable. I would say I like to do things that I really didn't like to do. If they mentioned they like skiing, I would say, oh yeah, I really like skiing too. Even though I haven't snowboarded or skied. I've never skied and I haven't snowboarded in 20 years. But I would say these things because I wanted them to like me. I would cancel my plans to work within their schedule. I would have a workout or I'd have a dinner or something planned with my friends. And because the girl wanted to switch the plans, I would just agree to do it. It was much easier for me to switch my plans instead of asking them, telling them what's going on, I need to switch days or whatever. And after, a few months of doing this, thinking, okay, my life is going pretty well. I'm in this new environment. I am making new friends. I am more social. I'm in a good spot. But after going on these dates and consistently hearing, you're such a nice guy, let's be friends, I kind of realized that I needed to make a change. And that's how I discovered No More Mr. Nice Guy. That's when I started to practice more of these things throughout the book. So if you're in the situation now, if you're going through separation, divorce, or you're trying to recover from the nice guy, or you're just looking to improve your life in general, I'll leave a link in the description. You can click that It's a discovery call. We can go through kind of where you are now in life, what you're struggling with, where you're wanting to go, and give you a good plan of action that you can start taking to start really living the life that you want. It's difficult when you're getting out of a divorce or any big major event. You can kind of feel stuck, kind of feel lost, and it's hard to really know where you want to go. So book that call, we'll get you a good game plan. But the first big pillar / takeaway that I got from this book was honesty over acceptance. I use this example. Say you're at a restaurant and the waiter brings you out chicken, but you ordered steak. The nice guy, the guy I was, would have just sat there and said, yeah, that's fine. I like chicken anyways. I'll just eat it. I'll deal with it. Whereas the guy who's, going for what he wants, has his standards, he's telling the waiter, hey, excuse me, this is not what I ordered. And the waiter apologizes. He brings out the right food and everything's fine. But just not standing up for yourself, it just kind of lowers your self-respect. At least for when I would do it, it did, because I knew I was not standing up for myself. I knew this is not what I wanted, and it all just kind of ticks away little by little. I've noticed this when I was on my dates in Vegas. I would not be honest with what I liked and didn't like. I was looking for that validation. I wanted them desperately to like me, and that comes across. I'm not being genuine. I'm not being authentic. This happened, I think, 2 weeks ago? I was on a date, and she had mentioned this as well. This is a very common thing that nice guys do, is trying to just gain acceptance rather than being authentic. She mentioned that she did not want to tell me the things that she kind of enjoyed doing or some of things that she was passionate about, because she has had it in the past where guys would change their answer. So she even mentioned, like, I'm worried you'll change your answer, which was interesting to me because in the past I probably would have. So, as of reading No More Mr. Nice Guy, realizing just how important it is to be honest, especially when you're trying to build healthy relationships. It's not going to work if you're trying to start a relationship with somebody and you immediately start off by lying about the things you want to do. Eventually that's going to wear off. That's what happened in my relationship. I lied about, loving to go to art shows, loving to go to her parents' house, loving to watch certain TV shows. And then I'm just sitting there resentful, like, I really don't want to do this. This is getting old. But by that time, I had already been too deep, I guess. So yeah, first thing is honesty over acceptance. The second key takeaway is boundaries over resentment. In my marriage, I struggled with this a lot. I would very much harbor resentments when my covert contracts weren't being met. Specifically, we would go to art shows or craft stores on the weekend. These were things that I did not want to do. But because I wanted some affection, I had these covert contracts that I'll do this for you, and in my mind, you'll give me these affections. And when that didn't happen, I would harbor resentment. I would shut down for the day, act like a child. This really appeared in my dating life after the divorce, when I would let girls say things that I didn't really approve of. They would, treat the wait staff badly. They would say things that really did not resonate with me. They would talk bad about their exes. They would just not have the personality type that I would want to see. But because I was so desperate for affection and their approval, their validation, even though I don't even really know who they are as people, it just led to a lot of resentment. I resented these people that they had these qualities that I really didn't like. And then when they tell me, let's just be friends, and I harbored resentment against that. Like, well, who are you to say, let's just be friends? Like, there's a lot of things about your behavior that I didn't like. So having these boundaries where you're willing to walk away, that you don't have to just settle for things. This was a huge step for me. That's when I started implementing this. I started to really increase my relationships. And helped me become a man that women respected. I had boundaries. If you're going to behave in a way that I don't find attractive or I don't find is going to be a match for my life, I am now ready to walk away. I don't have to just settle with this because I'm desperate for you to like me. So that was a huge one, having boundaries, letting go of the resentment, letting go of these covert contracts. If I have my needs, I will tell you. I'm not going to just secretly hope that you understand what they are. So that was takeaway number 2. The third key takeaway from the book that really opened my eyes was having self-respect over self-sacrifice. I felt like growing up in my marriage as an adult, even still now sometimes, like I feel like I sacrifice what's best for me for others. I still have some of that nice guy tendency. It's hard to, get rid of it completely. You do want to be helpful. You do want to be a good person. So you do kind of end up in that trap. But with self-respect over self-sacrifice, I kind of learned that I don't want to give up, say, my friends. I remember one time in particular, I was going to my friend's going away party. We were in the military. He was on his way to Iraq. He was going to be gone for 6 months. And I sacrificed my happiness to go with my friend, to go hang out with my girlfriend at the time. She was getting very jealous. She could not go to the bars with us, so she felt left out. And she guilt-tripped me to go back to come hang out with her. And because I wanted to make her happy, I was that nice guy. I was very happy to have a girlfriend. I didn't want her to leave. I didn't want to lose that loss of love. So I agreed to go. And I lost a lot of respect for myself that I couldn't stand up saying, no, I'm going to hang out with my friends. This is his last night here. He's going to Iraq tomorrow. So I'm staying out. And then this kind of manifests into my relationships now, where I know what I want. I know what my purpose is. I know what I want my lifestyle to be. I want to be able to be remote. I want to be able to travel. I want a woman that is kind and generous and can live the lifestyle with me. I'm not willing to sacrifice those things just to please somebody anymore. This is something that I would have done in the past. These nice guy tendencies get you to really sacrifice yourself. You're kind of taught as an early age that other people's needs are more important than yours. That's how I always felt. I felt like if people knew how important my needs were, then I would lose loss of love because it's easier for them to forget about me rather than help me meet my needs. So that was the third step that really just opened my eyes into just how detrimental being the nice guy was. It awakened a lot of things that I was sacrificing about myself to help other people meet their needs rather than ever expressing my own. Now that I've gone over some of the major takeaways from the book, I want to give you a few action steps that you can use for each one that'll help you on your road to recovery from the nice guy syndrome, start helping you get the relationships that you want, the life that you want, build some of that self-respect so that when a situation comes up, you can be yourself, you can say what's on your mind, you don't have to do things that you don't want to do that go against yourself. So for the first one, honesty over acceptance. Write down 3 things that you've been hinting at with somebody, but you've never said it directly to them, that you've been wanting to say, you've just been keeping it inside because of fear of maybe rejection or fear of starting a fight or an argument, something that's really you've been hinting at, but you just haven't been able to say directly, and then tell one person this week what that thing is. See what the reaction is. You don't have to do anything major that's going to alter your life in any way, but just start small and figure out one thing that you can tell somebody that you've been hinting at, that you're hoping that they would get the message and they just haven't, and just directly tell them what's on your mind. For boundaries over resentment, for this week, if somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to do, just say no. You don't need to give an explanation. You don't have to justify yourself. You don't have to let somebody make you feel bad. Don't ever let somebody make you feel bad for doing something that you don't want to do. But just get used to saying no to things. You don't have to agree to everything. There's things that you don't want to do that if you did do, you'd feel resentment for. So it can be something small, it can be something big, but if somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to do, get in the habit of saying no and seeing how you feel about it. Do you feel excited that you stood up for yourself? Do you feel a little guilty that you did it? Just kind of mark this down so that you can see how you can progress further. Because the nice guy is gonna say yes to a lot of things that he doesn't want to do. Whereas once you've been able to notice these patterns and start to break this syndrome, you'll start to feel better about yourself, and you'll realize you have a lot more free time to do the things that you want to do. And if you want to work on self-respect over self-sacrifice, choose something this week, schedule it for something that you want to do. You refuse to cancel it for anybody. This is something that's important to you, that you're choosing to do not out of fear, but out of desire. So pick one of these three things. Either, write down something that you've been hinting at, tell that person directly, say no to something if somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to do, or just schedule something that is really important to you, that you want to do, that you refuse to cancel for anybody else. So pick one of those three this week, continue to build upon this. You'll start to notice that you feel proud that you're standing up for yourself, that you are doing things that you want to do, and that people are not losing respect for you. You're not losing love. They're actually becoming proud of you, that you are standing up for yourself, and that you are becoming a man that has his own boundaries, has his own goals, has his self-respect, is being honest. He does the things that he likes to do. He's not trying to win the approval of others. People appreciate authenticity. It's the only gift that you can give that no one else can give. So if you're being authentic and honest with what you like, people will appreciate that. Not everybody's gonna like the things that you like, but they'll respect the fact that you were honest about it. So I hope those three things are helpful. I highly recommend this book. It really did change my life. It gave me the tools I needed to start becoming the man that I wanted to be, the man that lives the lifestyle he wants, is dating the kind of people he wants. He's not just settling for people because he wants them to like them. It really is an important book in my life, so I highly recommend that. If you guys are looking for an interview I did this with Al. He's a nice guy. He goes over some of the things that he's done to recover from the nice guy, how it kind of all started. I'll link that up here at the end of the video. He mentions some groups that you can join, some of the things he's gone through as the nice guy, ways that it affected him. So good interview to check out. If you're still looking for any help in the future on how to progress from the nice guy, if you're looking to improve your just life after divorce, some of your mindsets, living a life that you truly want, hop on that clarity call. We'll go over a plan of action that you can start implementing immediately to get you unstuck and start living the life that you want. I hope that was helpful to you guys. I'm on my way home now. I'm gonna do my Spanish class. I'm on day 9. It's very difficult. My goal is to be fluent in Spanish at some point. I've been doing Duolingo for a long time. That wasn't working. I mean, it does work, but it's never gonna make me fluent. So, gonna go do Spanish class, then I hit the sauna, and we'll be back at it again tomorrow. So have a good day. See you guys later.